For our next speaker, I would like to invite Mr. Raghav Gupta. He is the Managing Director for Aussee Oats Milling.
Hi, good morning, everyone, and thank you for having me, CMIC. I'm just going to talk a little bit about a commodity hub, 2040, and what is the potential for Sri Lanka to be part of this. So, there are a lot of commodity hubs globally, and there are two types of hubs, where there's trading happening, where there's no physical hub, and there are places where there's a physical hub, like Singapore, Dubai, where trading can happen. And I feel Sri Lanka has the opportunity to become a commodity hub, and this is from an industry perspective, because I'm not from the shipping line, I'm from the food manufacturing line, and from the trading perspective. So I feel there's a big opportunity, given that we have such a large amount of transshipment happening from here. And we have the opportunity to leverage Trincomalee Port here to do that. So what are commodity hubs? Okay, so we can store, what all can we store here in Sri Lanka? We already have storage of oil in the Trincomalee Port, which we should be able to leverage with the option of doing further refining here. We can also store metals, we can store agri-commodities. We've seen in the past, and very recently, especially in Sri Lanka, that, there's no milk powder suddenly, there's no wheat flour suddenly, there's no sugar suddenly. And the opportunity to have that with countries participating with large trading corporations like Glencore or Cargill's storing 50,000, 100,000 tons at these hubs in silos or in large warehouses, and being able to deal with that swing capacity on and off when the requirement is there, would be able to serve and fulfill these demands. And it's not only for Sri Lanka, it can cater to, it may be a smaller mini hub, because maybe it will only be able to cater to the South Asia region, but it will work perfectly to cater to like Bangladesh, Burma, India, Pakistan, and even option to even trade further to Dubai if required. Also, the additional opportunity for Sri Lanka is that they can do further refining, or processing. Whenever you have grain processing happening, you can put up ancillary units here to process. So for Sri Lanka, obviously and looking at it from a 2040 perspective, there's a lot of government participation, a lot of stakeholders need to get in line to reduce the over-regulation that is present right now, to ease financial regulations, to be able to do trading and to do processing. So a lot of, and especially with you all as stakeholders from the shipping industry, to be able to provide services from bulk to containerized, or opportunity to transfer in smaller vessels from Trincomalee Port to Colombo Port. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about how the hub could operate. So you'll obviously need the physical hub, and you may need an exchange as well, but we can, depending on how the government suggests or requires it, we could operate a hub out of the exchange out of here, or a Dubai or a Singapore, where people or traders may feel more comfortable operating, given that like Singapore is a AAA rated hub exchange. And the beneficiaries for the hub are several. The importers benefit. In Sri Lanka, obviously reduced manufacturing costs, ease of availability of products, and introducing new products into the market into a small country becomes much, much easier. Exporters benefit because you're able to bring in large quantities of goods and supply smaller quantities to people who are not able to buy bulk brick vessels. So, for example, for us, like we bring in about 100, 150 containers of grain every month. And if we had an option of a hub like this, we'd be able to bring in a small break bulk cargo vessel and use it, and even be able to trade a little bit of quantity to some of our competitors. And this happens globally in a lot of places, like in Canada, in Australia, where you're able to do this, but it doesn't happen in Sri Lanka, obviously. For consumers, it's also a benefit because you don't have prices that are going crazy all of the time. As soon as pricing starts going up or down, you still have stocks available. There's enough crisis happening globally right now, and Putin says something and the price of all grains suddenly shoots up like 5-6% overnight. So the opportunities there. I don't think I need to get into this. You guys are experts here for shipping lines, where you can see the benefit and the volume going up significantly if we're able to operate such a hub, where we're able to move some containerized cargo into the region. And obviously, we spoke about the pricing at the port and the customs. So obviously, those charges and prices would need to go down significantly for them to be beneficial for a hub to operate. This is beneficial for countries. I'll give an example. For Australia, example, who supplies grains, pulses to our region, they may be able to diversify their risk a little bit and store grain, a little bit of grain in this part of the world. And if they have customers and the brokers or the private companies that may have customers in this region may be able to service it much quicker rather than shipping out directly out of Australia. Obviously, the foreign exchange requirement for Sri Lanka will definitely benefit here as well. And I tried to keep it short and sweet, but this was from a more industry perspective and how industry can benefit from a hub like this, and obviously shipping lines will also benefit. Yeah? Thank you.